Hello, in this video I'm going to be looking at and picking this LEGAULT CS401 time delay lock. This is an interesting lock that has a timer built in to control when you can retract the bolt. If we look on the back here, you can see it says LEGAULT, made in Canada, model CS401, and a patent number right there. At the top here, we can see there is an RCA jack that's it allows you to monitor the state of the lock. I don't believe there's any electronics in here, but I do believe there is a switch that is hooked up to that RCA jack right there. On the side here, we have a spring-loaded bolt, which does seem like it could be a security risk for bypass for sure. And in the middle here, we have a Medeco cam lock. This is a 72S. Despite the length here, this is actually not, the number of pins in this is only 3 pins. And it seems to be that's because they have a larger cam on the back of this they use to engage with the timer and the bolt. There is a video posted by LEGAULT online that shows how they manufacture this, and it's really cool to see. They show all the different steps they take, and you can see how the cam is attached, and from what I saw, it completely covers the back of the keyway, so I wouldn't expect there to be any way to bypass it through the keyway. The normal operation of the lock, and I'm just going to sort of walk through it because it does set a timer. So the normal operation of the lock is you would insert your key, you would rotate it 180 degrees, and by rotating it, you're actually winding the timer in here. Once you've rotated it 180 degrees, you have started the time delay timer, which on this particular lock is 5 minutes. But it is configurable and it does vary lock to lock. But on this one, that's 5 minutes. You then rotate your key 180 degrees back to the top position, and you can leave it in or pull it out. And you have to wait that 5-minute time delay before you can open the lock. Once that 5-minute time delay has gone by, you'll hear a slight click, which is where the bolt is engaged. And you can then take your key and rotate it in what's called the open window period, which on this lock is also 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes from the time delay expired to open the lock. So you can insert your key, rotate it, and it'll retract the bolt. Once you've done that, once you've retracted the bolt one time, when you remove your key, it will no longer continue to retract the bolt. You have to wait for that active open window to end. Then you can start the full time delay over again, wait for the time delay to start, and then you can insert your key and retract the bolt again. You can see that the seal here on this model is damaged. I don't know if that's just from shipping or from use, or if that's because the timer has been adjusted by hand in any way after the factory. I'm not sure. One other thing you may notice is that the key, the Medeco key, will say made in USA, but the lock here says made in Canada. The timer and the lock housing are made in Canada. This cam lock is made in the USA in Virginia. So with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and get into picking it. For grins, we'll go ahead and rake it first. Okay, yeah, nice and raked. Cool. I'm going to be using a 50 thousandths turner, top of the keyway, and I'm going to be using a short flat hook from Tools Necessary 9 set. When you very first start picking it in this state, there is no tension on the plug, but once the time delay is expired and the bolt is engaged, there is tension on the plug. There we go. So you can see at first it starts to spin freely. Once it gets to about that angle, there is tension on it, and this is when we can start winding it. I'm going to go ahead and get my stopwatch ready so we can time it while we do this. So we will rotate it and start the timer. And we'll also rotate this back completely. Okay. So at this point, we'll just let the timer run. I do let it run sitting in this position right here. I've noticed that it seems to engage the bolt a little bit better when it's in the upright position like this. I don't know if that's this specific lock I have or if that's common to all of their models. So if you heard that click right there, that was the bolt engaging. So we now have 5 minutes to pick the lock and retract the bolt. We're now in the open window time period. I will tell you, I tend to have more trouble picking this when there is tension on the plug, but hopefully it won't take too long. Okay, there we go. That wasn't too bad. So now you can see as I turn it, we retract the bolt there. Okay, and this time there is some spring tension on the plug there. So if I let it go, we can close it. And at this point, if you were to use the key again in this open window period, the bolt won't retract. And I won't pick it again, but I'll show you that with this key here. So we're still in that open window period. And at this point, the key will not retract the bolt. So to use the key again, you wait for the open window period to end, insert your key, rotate it 180 degrees, start the time delay, and repeat the process. So anyways, not something you normally see. Definitely a little bit of the higher security end intended for financial institutions and places like that, where I think the idea is that you force somebody to wait an amount of time that would engage an alarm or something like that for police or first responders to arrive, I think is the general idea with it, although I'm not super familiar with them. I know I would certainly like to learn more about them, and I think that they are definitely a major enhancement for improving the security of a lock. So that's all I've got. If you've got any feedback or questions, please let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching.